Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Rini, this is the Enchanted Planner, and today we have a voiceover because, oh good lord, this video ended up being about 55 minutes long by the time I was finished. I was seriously on the struggle bus. I'm showing you guys a new dashboard. If you are on my email list, this was mailed out to you last week. If you would like to get on my email list and get this free dashboard / planner cover, you will find a link in the description. My suggestion is also, if you didn't receive it and you're on the email list, check your junk folder, because in particular, Gmail has a hidden junk folder. You can find it by hitting the left side column when you open Gmail and scrolling down until you hit more and then dropping down the next section, and that will show you that there is a nice lovely little junk mail folder down there that you didn't know existed. All right, so I've pulled out this year's Halloween book as well as the one from 2021. The colors match relatively well between both books. This is a very cute sticker book, like very cute, which is I think part of the problem is there were so many available options. I couldn't make a decision. So, and just, oh gosh, because when we're using new things, new shapes and whatnot, for some reason, my brain just goes into analysis paralysis and we don't move very far. And I don't know if anybody else experiences that, but sometimes I just get stuck. I really want to use this quote box for the sidebar, and because it has these moths on it, we're going to integrate these moths as well. We end up going the direction of the potion bottles and the moths. It just worked. It's how it came together. I was also thinking about redating it with those big numbers, but in the end, I didn't end up redating it because after, like I said, 55 minutes, I was kind of done and I didn't want to torture you guys any further. I really didn't want to torture you. So I'm flipping through the old Halloween sticker book from a couple of years ago, trying to see if there's anything in there I think might work better, in particular for the sidebar. What I ended up doing was taking a long vertical box, a sidebar box, and cutting it short. But you won't see that for a bit because right now we're just flipping back and forth, trying to make up our mind on how we are going to make the sidebar possibly work. I give up on the sidebar in a second after I play around with maybe putting some mushrooms at the bottom of it to see if we can make the space work with just that quote box and a vertical box, but it doesn't work either. So shortly here in a second, I just give up and I'm like, that's it. We're just going to move on to working on the spread. There's a couple of things that I use in this plan with me that don't normally get used. As you well know, I use some checklist boxes, which is what we are going for right now. Not checklist boxes, checklists. So we're just pulling out some books from Mojo, because the one thing that the Halloween sticker book does lack is any basic rectangular vertical boxes. They have a fair amount of boxes in there, but most of them are either coffin shaped or tombstone shaped. So I opt to just pull in a checklist to get this kicked off and started. Now I'm just flipping through trying to decide if we're going to go with a box cluster or what our next plan of attack is. As I said, I went back and forth so many times. It also is difficult when you're not used to working with sticker books. Like if it's a brand new sticker book, you end up, I don't know about you, but I end up flipping through the sticker book way more than need be, but I don't remember where things are in the sticker book, and I also don't remember what is in the sticker book. There are those planners. I was going to say I have envy, but it's not so much envy. There are those planners who pull all of their stickers ahead of time which is, I think, a very good idea because it prevents the constant, incessant sticker book flip through. But there's a lot of you guys that don't like that. And I don't know that I could make a decision enough in advance to be able to pull them all in ahead of time. What I think in my case would end up happening would be I'd literally end up doing the spread on wax paper ahead of filming it. And I don't want to do that because I think that that defeats the purpose of doing these plan/decorate with me's, because you guys get to come along for the ride on my thought processes and what is going on in my mind, even if it's bloody comical, as to why I pick stickers that I do or where I'm placing them. Like in this case, in this spread, you'll see I'm setting up an almost identical, or trying to anyways, because my Menno brain was having the struggle of a lifetime trying to figure out how this was supposed to go down. Just to bring it into, so there's the same kind of cluster on the other side of the page. I prefer a lot of symmetry, not complete mirror, but I do like a lot of symmetry in my planner spreads. But I don't like it to be super matchy. So it's kind of a balance. And this is where at the end of this, I'm not 100% thrilled with the placement on one particular cluster, because it's too high on the spread and I will probably move it down. There's a box cluster that ends up sort of the Thursday, Friday, and it's close to the end of the spread. And as I'm looking at it right now, I don't like it. So it will be getting shifted a little bit. But you notice sort of a pattern going on right now. So we've got a checklist on each side of the planner spread, but they're not on the same line. We've got a very similar box cluster, but they're symmetrical, but they're opposite. Because again, one is high, one is low. They reverse how they're put together. So the square boxes on the inside on both, and the verticals on the outside. I like symmetry. I'm all about symmetry. It just is, it pleases my eyes every time I open my planner spread. I have had those weeks where I feel, it didn't go that way, but I have felt like I've literally just been throwing stickers down anywhere on the page. And those are the spreads that I don't usually connect all that well with. And they don't really draw my eye or my attention at all that week. Again, we come down to drawing a line. I am all for using all the stickers, but I will not use stickers I don't like because it's my planner. And if I don't like what's on the pages, I'm not going to want to use it because yes, my planners help me accomplish the things I need to accomplish. They help me stay on track and they ensure that I don't forget things like bills that need to be paid. But it is still very much a creative outlet for me. Very much a creative outlet for me. If it wasn't for the stickers, I wouldn't be using the planners. Let's just be honest here, because I've tried many planners over the years and never really used them all that effectively or that much because they were boring. Add stickers, and I just love getting into them. So it's functional, but it is also a very big creative outlet for me. It is an opportunity for my brain to unplug because I can focus just on the paper, just on the stickers, and everything else shuts off. Whereas the rest of the time, my brain is trying to run at about 100 miles a minute, like a squirrel who has no idea where the nuts are. Like it's just bing, 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 like all over the place. It's just mental the way my mind is. And Menno brain is part of that problem. Concentration? What's concentration? Brain fog? There's all kinds of things that go on. Okay, here's where we are going to cut the sidebar sticker to make it work in the way I want it to work. This takes a bit of fiddling around because when I line it up, it works really, really well, but it's still a little bit too long, which sucks. So we end up having to move the bottom piece up so it's a little bit higher. So you'll see that just shortly, here shortly. So I get it all lined up and I'm all pleased and I white out the thing on the side and then I go to lay this down and realize, shoot, it's still a little bit too long. So before getting too, I don't want to pull up the whole sticker. Right now we're just pulling up my cut off piece to get it lined up so I know how long it needs to be. Then I pull up the whole sticker to cut off the excess. So I've moved the cutoff piece above the length of the sticker. And we're going to cut that little piece off in a second. And I have a conversation here about cutting your stickers to make them work for you. And I know, like most of you, when I was a new planner, the thought of cutting my stickers was completely abhorrent. Like, why on earth would we cut these stickers? We'd spend all this money on these stickers. Why would we cut them and destroy them? Then it hit me, I don't know, about 6 months into my planning that I was like, wait a second. These need to work. And if they don't work, they don't get out of the books. And they need to get out of the books to validate the amount of money that has been spent on them. So I came full circle in my thought process on that. Well, wait a second. No, cutting the stickers is good. We are okay with cutting the stickers because, again, if they're in the books, it's a waste of money. If we get them onto the pages and they bring us joy, then we can validate it. So I have a little conversation here. Again, we're talking about balance and symmetry. And because the quote box in the left-hand sidebar is down closer to the bottom of the page, I opt to take the lined double box down below the, I don't know what to call that section, but you know what I'm talking about. I took it below that line just so it looks balanced right across the bottom. And I was contemplating coming in with some washi, but I couldn't make up my mind on what exactly we were going to use. So that was kind of frustrating. So now I've decided we're going to use these potion bottles because they've been something that drew my eye from the moment I saw this sticker book. Because I'm like, oh, look at all the little potion bottles. I want the potion bottles. And they're super cute. So we are going to bring in these potion bottles. They've got one already set down, a couple of them set down. But I really like this black one. I wish there was more in the shape of this black one because it's very blunt and eye-catching. Whereas the other ones, they're smooth and there's no sharp edges. Whereas the other one, it's like sharp corners. And it just was like, pow, I'm a potion bottle. I don't know. That's the way my brain was working with it at the time. Don't ask. Don't ask. I don't profess to understand exactly the way my brain works on most of the time. Let's just be honest here, most of the time. But, you know, it usually gets to where it needs to get to in order for me to get things done that I need to get done. And I know that probably makes, it sounds like a double negative almost. Double negative. That's a, I can't even remember basic grammar and English skills some days. Heaven help us all. Well, those of us in menopause anyways. Seriously hoping that once this stage of life is over, that my brain power comes back. Because I honestly feel pretty dumb for a smart person some days. Like sometimes I can't even begin to understand or bring to mind the simplest of concepts, or I'm looking for a word and it's in there, but it just won't surface. And I'm like, I'm frustrated. I'm frustrated. Okay, we're looking for headers. And I did find these ones. And then subsequently, in a few seconds, I also find some other ones that are quite fun. So we're just going to lay in some headers. One says to buy, the other one says to do. And then when I'm flipping through the book looking for something else, I come across these little coffins. And they're super cute. So we bring in a few of those shortly as well. Now we're talking about the fact that I didn't even really think about the fact that there was smaller boxes in the Halloween sticker book. I was so focused on looking for proper vertical boxes. I didn't even think to bring in some of the smaller size boxes that were in the sticker book. And I didn't want to do it at that point because I didn't bring them in anywhere else. So they would sort of stick out. But lesson to myself, I need to pay attention because I was looking for smaller boxes and didn't even think to pick up the Halloween sticker book. Okay, we're bringing in some sparklies around the potion bottles so they kind of look a little bit magical. So they look a little bit magical. Overall, I'm actually thrilled with the way this spread came out, even though it was a really big struggle to get it there. But also too, I think there was a few reasons I think I struggled with this. This is the little coffins, and they're so cute. I haven't worked with a Happy Planner sticker book for a while. That's number one. Number two, this was new, and I had planned on bringing in more of like the coffin shapes and the weird tombstone shapes. But because I was getting so frustrated with trying to get my brain to function with it, I just opted to go a little bit of a different direction and go with more standard squared off boxes. But otherwise, I had fully intended on challenging myself by using some of these other cool, funky shapes. No, I just couldn't. Those are supposed to be bullet points. They're huge, so we opted not to bring them in. I'll just pull in a couple of bullet points from one of Mojo's books. And we're just looking for a couple of final little finishing touches to see if there's anything else I might add. I go in for some of these circles, but they just don't look right. But that's pretty much a wrap, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Ciao.